This eco-city will see homes, offices, public parks, and schools vertically layered within a mirrored facade in northwestern Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia took an ambitious leap, announcing the enticing futuristic Line City, a linear smart city under construction in Neom, Tabuk Province, housed in a single building that is designed to have no cars, streets, or carbon emissions. Aimed to be a sustainable, high-tech utopia, this would be the crown jewel in global real estate. But something doesn't seem right. The vertical mirror-clad city meant to house millions of people in the scorching desert is falling apart, and Saudi Arabia is not happy about it. Funds running low doesn't seem like a possibility with the country's endless pit of oil money. So, what exactly is going on? Why is the AI-powered city on the verge of collapse? To find out, we need to dive a bit deeper into the details. The Line, Saudi Arabia's revolutionary vertical city. It all started on the 10th of January 2021 when Mohammed bin Salman announced a $500 billion project, the Line City. This news broke on the internet. The whole world started talking about the project, and many experts called it a mistake. A Reddit user called it a vanity project. In a study published NPJ Urban Sustainability, mathematician Rafael Prieto Curiel and physicist Daniel Condor argued that the line is not particularly sustainable from a mathematical perspective. A line is the least efficient possible shape of a city, said Prieto Curiel. The line is part of the Neom project in Saudi Arabia. It includes building a small city in the northern Tabuk Province. The line connects all of these initiatives. As the name implies, it is a line of two twin buildings that span 170 kilometers. That's the same distance as a drive from Long Beach to San Diego, or a train ride from London to Birmingham. They aren't just erecting any old buildings. They are proposing two skyscrapers, each 500 meters high, almost as tall as Taipei 101 in Taiwan or Central Park Tower in New York. With the Line, an ambitious urban project, Saudi Arabia aims to transform city life and the social experience. It seeks to create a reality, not a sci-fi scenario. It aims to eliminate urban sprawl, car-centric design, and pollution. With the Line, he has invoked vertical urbanism and boldly announced that he is seeking to tackle the challenges facing humanity in urban life today and shine a light on alternative ways to live.
A vertical city. And a vertical city that's structured this way is a completely new thing.
Tom Main, founding partner of Morphosis, said, "The Line is a complicated project, but the big idea is incredibly simple." He explained that when thinking about the idea,
that we had a set of very unique opportunities to describe potentials of city making in the 21st century.
It was very important to us to develop the scale that broke down socially into communities that had personalities and gave people opportunities to live in very different environments, like you would in London or Manhattan. Maine connects the vision to larger societal advances. I drive a Tesla, and I see that now that's transitional. That's the last car before there's no cars. This means the model city isn't just catering to the needs of its own citizens. It's also going to be an ideal relocation destination for people across the globe, especially the ones who want to live clean and green. The Line T seeks to blend modern convenience with sustainable living. This 34 square kilometer vertical metropolis would run on renewable energy, and with its proposed cognitive AI, it would give its millions of privileged residents a smooth, eco-friendly, efficient life. The Line is one of many ambitious projects Saudi Arabia is trying to build. The Neom project alone includes a luxury resort, Sonala, a new industrial complex, Hexagon, a new shipping port, Neom Bay, an airport, and an agricultural resort. They are also building Trojena, a ski resort that will host the Winter Olympics. But right now, their main focus is the marvelous utopia called The Line. Structural marvels and technological pioneering. While the Line's ambitious vision has captured the world's attention, structural marvels still fascinate the world. Every element, including data collecting and public transit, is optimized for a creative and sustainable way of living. It preserves 95% of the natural area while connecting beaches and mountains. A layered city form that arranges residential areas, green areas, and necessary services vertically is crucial to this. Everything, including parks, schools, and medical services, is intended to be within 5 minutes walking distance, thanks to this special arrangement. Also, a high-speed transport system can cross the line in 20 minutes. It will mainly promote walking, though. The project's capacity to produce microclimates is among its most fascinating advantages. It will maintain a suitable temperature across its various levels. It will do this by balancing sunshine, shade, and air circulation, which will in turn improve energy efficiency and air quality. The city's waste-free systems and green transport run on renewable energy from solar, wind, and hydrogen. This supports its zero-carbon plan. Here, artificial intelligence, AI, will be crucial in monitoring and adjusting environmental conditions, utilities, and security requirements by analyzing real-time data. It's a huge city. The original plan aimed to house 1.5 million people by 2030. By 2045, forecasts expect that number to reach 9 million. That's unprecedented for cities of similar size. The realistic idea of swimming channels. While the line's energy efficiency and climate controlling capabilities would revolutionize urban development globally, some far-fetched concepts pitched by Neom are making people question the sanity of its creators. For instance, they are investigating swimmable water canals to develop a new mode of transportation. Swimming to work or school might make people more active. It's better than using a boat or other transport mediums, according to them. The goal of this architectural idea is to increase inhabitants' healthy life expectancy by up to 10 years. However, this idea is not as feasible and picture-perfect as it seems. What would happen if someone couldn't swim? Not to mention the canals could easily become infected and lead to transmission of disease that could take down the entire population. A single dead animal ending up in this water system could mean a total transport blockade for days. And has Neom already created waterproof clothes the citizens could wear while swimming to their corporate jobs? Or would reaching work drenched and smelly would be the new norm? These are just some of the concerns raised by online enthusiasts arguing that this canal transport system is a ridiculous idea. Neom planners have also revealed that no one will live more than a 5-minute walk from essential amenities, and people are supposed to live on a car-free surface. Meanwhile, cargo transport infrastructure will be hidden below, as will utility and high-speed train tracks. Neom and its programs aim to create car-free, renewable energy-run communities. They prioritize citizens' health over infrastructure and transport. They intend to have a train in the linear city that can swiftly traverse the whole distance. Public parks, schools, pedestrian zones, and workplaces. Where does everything else fit in, you ask? The answer offered by the designers of Neom's The Line.
Spine of the line is a fast rail system that connects.
Is to stack everything vertically. A park may be located on one level, followed by a school, offices, and a rail station or canal below. 3 levels make up the city's layout, one for surface pedestrian traffic, one for infrastructure, and one for underground transit. Secret agenda. It's a long shot to predict whether Line City will be a fanciful dictatorship or just an ultra-modern, tech-dependent urban project. However, humanity's well-being and convenience may not be the real reason behind this extravagant utopia. Saudi Arabia's ambitious plan for the line,
the landscape and nature and the environment, and we think the line is going to be an example to the rest of the world.
Is far more than an eco-friendly architectural marvel. Rooted in visions of economic, environmental, and social transformation, there's something more that they are planning to build in the name of a city. But what exactly are their motives? Saudi Arabia's aim to diversify its economy away from oil, on which it has mostly depended for decades, is at the core of its campaign for the line. The nation's economy has relied on oil earnings, but volatile prices, limited reserves, and a global shift to renewables have made a sustainable model vital. The government of Saudi Arabia is well aware of how the world energy scene is changing in favor of more renewable alternatives. Oil won't always support the world economy. As the largest oil producer, Saudi Arabia will face difficulties in making this shift. The line is a component of a long-term plan to have the country ready for life after oil. This change signifies a dedication to sustainable economic growth and technical improvement, and marks a significant transition in Saudi Arabia's economic strategy. It is diversifying its economy and investing in technology, tourism, and innovation. It claims to attract global talent, boost tech, and grow biotech, renewable energy, robotics, and tourism. Creating a unique city like the Line will also help attract top global IT firms. This will strengthen Saudi Arabia's position as an innovation hub. It is a clear statement of intent. Saudi Arabia wants to lead the global debate on future cities. Climate change is one of the most important issues facing the world today, and fossil fuels have long been associated with Saudi Arabia. The nation wants to change its reputation. It aims to be a leader in sustainability. In sharp contrast to global car-dependent urban sprawl, the line is a zero-carbon city. It will run on renewable energy, with no highways or cars. For most of its recent history, Saudi Arabia has been largely restricted to foreign tourists. Nevertheless, the line is a component of a broader initiative to reverse this. The line and Neom are intended to be appealing travel destinations for tourists from across the world. The Saudi government wants to make the nation a top travel spot.
Neom is the brainchild of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, a man who is more complicated than he seems.
It knows tourism can be a long-term economic driver. The line was created in large part to increase Saudi Arabia's soft power and influence internationally. This enhances Saudi Arabia's reputation as a modernizing country that is prepared to cooperate with foreign partners and adjust to global trends. It is a daring attempt to inspire patriotism and leave a lasting legacy. Will this ideal, however, eventually turn into a nightmarish reality? After all, no one wants to live in a world where AI controls every aspect of their lives and can deprive them of necessities if it sees fit. Not to mention the compact living arrangement will mean there wouldn't be a true outside like the normal cities. Say goodbye to scenic long drives, nature reserves, and outdoor activities like camping, hiking, and amusement parks. It will be just two very long and very tall connected buildings in the middle of the desert. Both the people used to big city life and the rural, close to nature living would go insane in this place. Some issues might impede Neom's growth. From societal dilemmas to economic risks, let's explore reasons it might fail. Staggering financial costs. First things first, almost every time a mega project fails, it's because of the funding. Either the practical cost exceeds the projected estimates, or the investors just lose faith in the project and pull their investment. The anticipated cost of Neom is $500 billion if we take the Saudi government's word.
Neom is a massive infrastructure project in the Saudi Arabian desert and the jewel in its crown.
But planners have estimated that the project will collectively cost around $1.5 trillion, and that is only the beginning. As the project progresses, the actual costs may easily double or even triple. According to Bloomberg, the main entity funding the project is the kingdom's Public Investment Fund. However, some local and international investors are also on board. The line, Neom's main project, is already costing Saudi Arabia around $200 billion. But experts have estimated that this cost could go as up as $1 trillion. Why? Well, probably because it's not exactly some casual project found in a contractor's handbook. To create a mirrored metropolis that is 170 kilometers long and 500 meters high is a first for everyone involved. Millions of cubic meters of rock and sand must be dug up. Then, deep foundations must be installed to hold the massive weight. This foundation work alone is a huge task. Next is the glass facade. It's expensive and will cause global supply chain issues. Its look is eye-catching, though. Global prices skyrocket, and delays become the norm when procuring commodities on this scale. Even though the project is a component of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, several analysts are questioning whether it is financially feasible to invest that much money in a single urban project, especially considering the possibility of cost overruns. Without substantial foreign support, Saudi Arabia may have to fund most expenses from the taxpayers' money. This would burden the government financially and may lead to a complete shutdown. Untested technology. Experimenting with cost and construction is one thing, but with technology is another. One wrong step, one minimal calculation mistake could be disastrous for the entire city. The line promises groundbreaking technology, with artificial intelligence integrated into every aspect of the city, including predictive health monitoring, automated transport, and smart infrastructure. The dependence on technology, which is either non-existent or yet in its infancy, comes next.
والحضارات كانت تبنى المدن لحماية الإنسان بمساحات ضيقة وبعد الثورة الصناعية.
With AI-powered infrastructure, driverless cars, and even a healthcare system that claims to prolong life, Neom is billed as a technological wonder. AI will use real-time data and predictive models to improve urban living. It will play a major role in the city, but the solutions to these issues are still unknown. The designers gave an example of how this system may work. If a person wakes up, having eaten too much sugar the night before, their home might recognize it. It would then recommend oats instead of something sweet and high in calories. You guys are probably starting to see the problem by now. Will losing your freedom be the cost of living in this utopia? Is this city going to be the reason robots and AI take over the world? The issue with relying on cutting-edge technology is that it hasn't been tested this extensively, if at all. What about AI systems designed to control everything from healthcare to energy use? We're talking about tech that is still in the labs and nowhere near perfection. Assuming it would be ready and executable for a city for millions by 2030 is pretty far-fetched. In actuality, Neom can become a costly, failed scientific experiment if it relies on untested technologies. Critics argue that building a project on such a vast scale could require decades and could face delays due to a lack of necessary construction technology. Impractical transport system. AI incorporation isn't the only technological obstacle the Line City is facing. Its engineering aspirations are also quite implausible and may need a lot more time for perfection and execution, especially when it comes to the transit system. The high-speed rail system is expected to take just 20 minutes to carry passengers along the line's 170 kilometers. At the moment, no rail system in the world accomplishes that, and creating one from the ground up would be a huge, costly gamble. The integration of this high-speed rail in such a small area is one of the main obstacles. Conventional high-speed rail systems need a lot of infrastructure. They must build stations, maintenance facilities, and access points for passengers. This is because they are made to run on horizontal tracks. However, these technologies need to be modified in Neom to operate inside the constrained space of a metropolis that is vertically oriented. This means creating new rail systems that work well in such an environment, able to generate enough power to propel vertically from a dead stop. It also means ensuring they can easily connect with existing vertical transit options, like escalators and elevators. To ensure that the system is dependable and quick, engineers must create innovative ways to handle the vertical flow of people and cargo. To accomplish the required speed and efficiency within the vertical arrangement, this entails reconsidering conventional ideas of rail transit and maybe combining components of magnetic levitation or other cutting-edge technology. Environmental influence and sustainability issues. If the proposed transport system of the line isn't complex already, no one has factored in how much pollution just the creation of this city will cause. Although Neom is promoted as a sustainable company, the environment's actual state may differ. The environmental cost of the project might be enormous, and its sheer size necessitates a huge investment of resources.
اليوم بصفتي رئيس مجلس إدارة نيوم نقدم لكم The Line.
To begin with, the building alone is anticipated to emit over 1.8 billion tons of carbon dioxide annually, which is more than the emissions of entire countries in a single year. Neom claims to be carbon neutral, yet the emissions from construction are far from that. The shiny glass facade is another problem that can seriously endanger migratory birds. Have you ever had a bird fly into your glass window? Imagine how catastrophic that would be on a large scale with thousands of migrating birds. The size of Neom makes it practically difficult to completely avoid this risk, even with the greatest efforts to employ bird-friendly glass. Desalination facilities will need to put in extra effort to generate fresh water in a desert setting, which will put a heavy burden on the region's water supplies. Desalinating enough water for locals is tough. It must also reduce harm to the ecosystem. The process is complex and uses a lot of energy. Doing it sustainably will be a challenge. There are many obstacles to overcome while constructing a metropolis in the middle of a desert that is fully powered by renewable energy. Solar power is the best option to meet a metropolis's energy needs. It requires massive energy storage and large-scale infrastructure. As a result, Neom's image as an environmental savior begins to lose credibility. Neom may ultimately be more detrimental to the environment than beneficial. Overcoming logistic challenges. The process of building Neom is not at all simple. Its position in a remote desert of northwestern Saudi Arabia makes it a logistically challenging task. It has faced unprecedented difficulties. The project's size necessitates not only sophisticated building methods, but also an exceptional degree of resource allocation, coordination, and planning. First of all, it is quite difficult to bring equipment and supplies to this remote area. It is astounding how many things are required for a project of this size. They will have to deliver tens of thousands of tons of concrete, steel, and glass to a location hundreds of kilometers from the nearest large port. Goods must flow smoothly from ships to trucks, and then over enormous deserts, necessitating a highly organized supply system. Any break in this chain, due to bad weather, broken equipment, or geopolitical unrest, might cause delays and higher costs. Technical foundation problems. A major challenge in building Neom, especially its line, is its complex, massive foundation. The line's extreme height and narrowness necessitate a foundation capable of carrying massive vertical loads while being stable in a harsh desert climate. To do this, engineers use deep pile foundations. They require digging long, powerful columns of reinforced concrete or steel deep into the earth, sometimes to depths of 60 meters or more. These piles must be anchored into the bedrock to maintain the structure's stability, as the strain exerted on these foundations is significantly larger than what ordinary skyscrapers need. This procedure is not only hard, but it also demands a high degree of accuracy, which is difficult to maintain across such a long distance. Even minor deviations in pile alignment or depth might jeopardize the structure's stability, with disastrous effects. Furthermore, the scope of this foundation work is astonishing. The initial 2.5-kilometer portion of the line needs hundreds of these deep piles. Each must be painstakingly positioned and anchored to support the massive weight of the structure above. Coordinating large foundation work across 170 kilometers is tough. It needs hundreds of staff, advanced technology, and constant quality checks. Any delay or error in this procedure might result in considerable time and financial losses. The requirement for specific materials, complex technical processes, and the project's magnitude imply that the foundation construction alone might cost billions of dollars. Labor concerns and human rights issues. The line looks more and more like a mirage, and its construction seems more like a tedious high-risk process for Neom and its workers. Now, the world is also worried about how this project will treat human resources. With the country having a reputation for importing labor from poor countries and exploiting them for meager salaries, the concerns are justified. There is an additional element of complication involved in housing and maintaining a workforce of over 100,000 in such a harsh climate. Now, there are makeshift labor camps. They have food, fun, and medical services. Maintaining these towns, however, is a logistical task in and of itself because they need constant supplies of food, water, and other necessities while ensuring that the workers are safe and healthy in the hostile desert environment. International human rights groups are concerned. They fear that to finish the project on time, workers may face unsafe conditions and rights violations. There has already been outrage over reports of local tribes being forcibly removed from the region to make room for Neom. If these problems worsen, the line may face more scrutiny. Businesses would be reluctant to support the project for moral reasons. Furthermore, the building procedures required for Neom are unlike any earlier attempts. Building vertically in a desert setting has unique technical issues, such as maintaining stability on shifting sands and handling high-temperature swings that can damage materials and gear. Errors are possible. Even small mistakes could have disastrous results. For example, during the first phase of construction, workers accidentally dumped large amounts of sand in a vital region allocated for a canal. This little blunder resulted in months of delays and cost millions of dollars to fix. If these concerns grow across the whole project, they could cause years of delays and billions in costs. This would threaten the project's sustainability. Impact of linear design. Building the line has already been deemed a high-risk feat that may exploit labor, disrupt the environment, and be a technological hazard. But now experts have also expressed concerns that it might be psychologically damaging for the residents, increasing isolation and mental health problems. The lack of a conventional urban core is one of the main problems with Neom's design. The center of social, cultural, and economic activity in most cities is a focal hub that gives locals a feeling of belonging and community. Neom's linear design spreads its functions across a small area. This makes it hard for locals to enjoy the community of urban living. Despite being in a heavily crowded location, this design may result in a fragmented living experience where individuals feel alone. The lack of a single point of convergence complicates the organization of public services, emergency response, and social activities, all of which are critical to a city's well-being. For example, a failure in the middle of the line might disrupt services for much of the city. This could cause lengthy outages and repair issues. Furthermore, the linear form hampers the routing of utilities and emergency services because there are few alternate channels to redirect in the event of outages. This complexity makes it hard to run city services. It may cause frequent malfunctions and a less reliable environment for residents. Attracting residents. With its possible isolating effect, another major concern for the line is its unusual living environment. Building a city from scratch in a distant region of the desert presumes that people would be ready to migrate to an altogether new urban ecology. The line is marketed as a perfect city of the future. But will people want to live in a densely packed, linear city with little personal space? The initiative is primarily reliant on obtaining foreign investment, tourists, and new industries, which are far from certain. The global economy is volatile, and any downturn might jeopardize Neom's funding and profitability. Furthermore, the kingdom's track record with large-scale initiatives isn't particularly impressive. Many ambitious projects in the region have been delayed or abandoned entirely. Without a solid economic base and a clear road to profitability, Neom risks becoming another costly blunder rather than the envisioned futuristic utopia. If the line fails to attract residents or businesses, it may become a costly ghost town. Current status. Now that we've established all the possible reasons why this ambitious mega project is likely doomed, let's take a look at the progress so far. Back in August 2024, an executive overseeing the project provided photos of progress on the construction of an accommodation facility for people working on the line as part of the Neom mega project. The line's chief operating officer, Giles Pendleton, tweeted 3 aerial pictures labeled Neom is Real Part 16 and characterized them as our home at NC1 and base of operations to support Neom and the line. NC1 is supposed to stand for Neom Community 1. The photographs, which were shared publicly on Pendleton's personal LinkedIn profile on August 21st, show a massive expansion of multiple buildings, including what appear to be housing units. Roads that fade into the flat desert terrain of the Tabuk area in northern Saudi Arabia cross the development. Pendleton also uploaded photographs in July with the description, Neom is Real Part 15. Lots of work is seen over Neom as camps grow and infrastructural excavations begin to reveal the actual magnitude of activity. The photographs, which appear to have been shot from inside an airplane, show a massive scar spanning to the horizon, most likely the result of early line construction. In one of the photographs, enormous pools of water can be seen within the scar's imprint. Other photographs reveal random developments that appear to be designed to accommodate project workers. A video showing construction on the line was released at MyPim back in March. The video shows the extensive work taking place, including clearing the site and preparing for foundations and piling operations for the city. It appears that the work is taking place on the first phase of the development, where the line meets the Red Sea and includes the hidden marina. According to a recently released video by Neom, which describes the works as the world's biggest earthworks operation, this first phase will be completed by 2030. It is impossible to independently verify anything happening at Neom since the authorities do not provide much information publicly about the project, and civil engineering firms working in the project have never replied to queries. The project has also generated great controversy in Western media. Civil engineering businesses remained silent in May 2024, when the BBC reported that Saudi Arabia had sanctioned the use of deadly force against anyone who stood in the path of its linear city, the line. A former Saudi intelligence officer, Colonel Rabi Al-Anezi, told the BBC that he was instructed to kill any indigenous people who refused to leave their villages to make room for the line's construction. Al-Anezi stated that the order was made in reference to a community named Al-Quraiba, located 4.5 kilometers south of the line and mostly inhabited by the Huwaitat tribe. Many experts believe that this linear metropolis is unfeasible and unproven, and wonder if such a design can genuinely work as envisioned. To succeed, Saudi Arabia must address its many challenges. It must compromise on timelines, improve transparency, and adopt a realistic approach. It should balance impractical visions with the need to overcome obstacles. Let's wait and see if this marvel is going to turn into Fantasy City or if the Line City is going to fall in legacy. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.